I don't have this problem anymore because of the kind of transport work I do, taxi-wise, taking people to the airport and back. Generally, folk are in a good mood, usually quite civil, and a decent class. Before that, for about 6 years, I did what most taxi drivers do, work what we call the circuit. And particularly at the weekends and pub nights and that sort of stuff, you would get some trouble. And you would live under the constant threat of what somebody could potentially do, and you had to learn to look out for signs and guard and protect yourself and all the rest of it. And you kind of realise that certain people out there really don't give a stuff whether you go home at the end of your shift to your wife and kids or not. And I see stories all the time where I think, oh my God, including this one. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing alright. I'm not too bad. Let me know how you are in the comments below and that everything's alright in your world. That's the main thing. Don't forget, on Sunday there won't be the 9 o'clock live stream with us. Here we will be over at the Funky Prepper, and that will be at 8 o'clock on his channel, so go and look out for that then. And I look forward to it. Got a lot to discuss. Well, one of the things we were going to discuss was stuff about taxi driving. And I was sent this story by a subscriber, and I thought, this guy, this taxi driver, is quick thinking. You see, one of the dangers that you have when you're out on the circuit driving, and I'm talking about taking Flo to the doctors or Jim home from the pub after 6 pints too many, is the danger of being robbed, or the danger of being assaulted, or even your car pinched in its totality. Now, what I used to do, I don't know what other people do, I used to have two things. I used to have a metal cash box underneath my chair, and I would put all of my coins in there, and it became very, very big and heavy very, very quickly. Any notes I was then provided, I'd put them in a wallet and put them in my pocket. So in the unlikely event anybody ever said, "Give us your money, Andy," or give them that. There's either two ways of looking at it. You give it to them round the skull, or you just give it to them, because the majority of your takings, your notes in your pocket would be there, and they would be separate, so it guards you to a certain degree. We did get a lot of stuff like that go on down our neck of the woods, including taxi drivers being coerced down dark streets and then ambushed. And it's awful sometimes. Well, this story come to me about an incident that happened in Leeds, where a passenger tried to rob a taxi driver who picked him up and then threatened to kill him if he didn't hand his takings over. Now, this is absolutely despicable. Sirwan Ali and a second man flagged down a cab outside Leeds College of Building on Cudbear Street. This happened on August the 24th last year. And they asked the cab driver to take them to Hare Hills Lane in Hare Hills. I'm assuming anyone from Leeds will know where all of this is. En route, they told the driver to stop at a place called Baywater Road, which was in Hare Hills. At the point the cab pulled over, the cab driver did what anyone would do and say is, the fare is, hand out, cough up. At this point, Ali turned around and said, "Give me your money." The cab driver naturally refused. I actually know some cab drivers that have got a little present under the seat as well. When the driver refused, Ali basically said, "I'm not asking you again. You give me your money or things are going to quickly get physical." At this point, the cab driver, quick thinking, and I tipped my cap to him, actually saw there was a police vehicle parked up just down from where he was, not very far away. So what he did, he just drove up towards it and stopped by the side of it. At this point, when they realised what he was doing, the two men made threats to kill him because he'd obviously driven up. When they were detained, Ali became abusive to the police, and then when he was interviewed, he denied trying to rob him. Later on, he did admit attempted robbery, racially aggravated public order, and possession of drugs. The court was told he'd had 6 previous convictions for 11 offences and was on 2 suspended sentences, yet he's out there still being a pain in the arse. This is the kind of thing that taxi drivers face every day. You don't know who's getting in your car. I mean, luckily this guy seemed to be okay, and you know, with the quick thinking and getting down the road to the police, he got out of it. Now, what happened to Ali? Of course, he was jailed for 24 months in total, and that was made up of 21 months from previous offences and activating 3 months, which was left of a suspended sentence he had received, all for trying to rob a taxi driver. Not great. I mean, what can taxi drivers do to protect themselves? Cameras in the vehicles, for one thing. In mine, I have a double-headed camera, one facing out, one facing in, and it's got audio on it as well, so it sees and records everything. If you're on the circuit, I used to have a rule in my head where I would look at a person, I'd give myself 5 seconds, and if I couldn't decide in 5 seconds whether that person would be a risk to my health and safety getting in the car, they weren't getting in. I'd lock the door and drive off, well within my rights. And there are various other tools you can employ as well. One of the things we had was a panic button. If there was trouble, push the panic button and it would broadcast a message to every single driver logged on in the area, who would all then descend on the position of the driver that was in trouble. I could tell you a couple of stories there, but that's for another video too. Anyway, best wishes to this fellow driver that ended up in this position, and I think that 24 months inside for trying to rob him, you let me know what you think of that. Anyway, I'm off. I'll see you soon with another. Toodaloo.